in the home of motorsport. We're here for Silverstone, one of the jewels of the calendar. It's round 8 of the championship, and we're here at that magnificent Silverstone circuit that you can see on your screen right now. And this is where we held the first ever official Formula One Grand Prix back in 1950, 71 years ago, and we've had over 1,000 races since then, and it's been non-stop action since then, and we're going to have some more action tonight for Tier 2 around this magnificent 5.8 kilometre circuit. It has 19 corners with 2 DRS down the Wellington and the Hammer Straights. Lap record of 1 at 27.0. We might see that beaten this evening in qualifying. The cars are a little bit slower this year, but in 2011 we saw Mark Webber, the fellow Australian, down in Brooklands with Lewis Hamilton and Cops. We saw Senna and Prost showing Max and Lewis how to do it back in 1993. I wasn't even born. I was -7, as Max Verstappen would say. And at Beckett's and Chapel 2016, it was Rosberg and Verstappen again. Going around the outside was Verstappen. What a move. What a track. What action we're in for tonight with the hardest of the Pirelli compounds, the C3 soft, the C1 hard and the C2 mediums. And that medium is very durable. The hards, I don't expect to see them at all tonight. But we go into the commentary box with Mr. Red Bull Moose. How are you, mate?
Mate, I'm very, very well, mate. We're here at the home of Formula One, and I couldn't be any more pumped. How are you?
Mate, I'm fired up. I've had a zinger. I haven't had one all season. So just take what I've normally been up to, times 10, and then that's what D's going to be like tonight, mate. We're on fire.
Oh, dear.
It's going to be a good one, Moosey. But,
it certainly is.
We had a very good one last night, which you were involved in, and you were going very strong there for most of the race, mate.
That I was, mate. Really, I'm not the biggest fan of this Great Britain track, but in the pre-season, I was rapping around here, getting what I think was a P3. Correct me if I'm wrong.
P2, I believe.
Oh, well, there you go, mate. And last night I was running up in P4 before I unfortunately ran out of fuel. I fueled the car a little bit under for a safety car and paid the ultimate price for what was a very clean race in this Tier 3 last night.
Yeah, it was, and hopefully we can see another clean race with some great action once again tonight. But who knows, we could see anything. But we'll go over the grid for tonight's race, Moose, and you can take us through it.
Absolutely, mate. Sorry, as I'm not just finishing a slice of pizza. In the
no worries.
Mercedes AMG Petronas, we have Crazy Kiwi and Brad Tay. In the Red Bulls, we have the reserve driver of Apache Franks and Johnny M4. In the Alpine, we have Darkness Abyss and Suicide 5. In the the Aston Martin there, we have Flourish Expire and Tab Def 1. In the Haas, we have Nat Hammer and the Kraken. Down there at Williams, we have M Stone and the Stig. Alfa Romeo, this time it is Alfa Romeo. We have Mr. Fury Strap, and he'll be joined by Rui as a reserve driver tonight. On the Alpha Tauri team, we have Absolute and Milligains. In the McLarens, we have Nick Magoo and OSRL Donny, and last but certainly not least is the Ferraris of Dino, 420 Fam, and Blue Dog.
That's it, Dino 420 Fam, one of last week's 2 race winners. Obviously, if you weren't around, we had 2 races last week, just the one tonight. We're back to the classical OSRL format, which is the full qualifying and then the 50% the 50% race. And it's going to be around Silverstone this evening. But these are the standings, Moose. It's Milligan's well and truly out on top, mate. And that's, what is it? That's a 57-point lead now.
Yeah, that it is, mate. And he's just been in a class of his own so far this season. Mr. Fury Strat back there in MP2 on 129. The only other man to crack the century is Kraken, pardon the pun there, on 114. But look at how close it is between the next 3 at least. And you can probably add Absolute onto the back of that, being Tab Def 1, Nat Hammer, Dino, and Absolute. It is very much all to play for the minor spots, but Milligains for the main spot well out in front.
Yeah, mate, he's dominated so far throughout the season. That's why he has a 57-point lead. and I'm sure he'll be just trying to continue that run of form this evening. And speaking of run of forms, Haas F1, mate, they had a brilliant week last week, back on top. And I think it was 150-something points for them. They absolutely smashed it last week out in Austria.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. And we've said each and every week that Haas have looked very, very dangerous. But the battle for second is where it's at the moment. We have, what is that, 23 points separating second, third and fourth. So very much all to play for, but we say it every week in the space of a weekend for these guys, in the space of a week for these guys rather. There's so many points to earn that it's really nobody's out of this Constructors' Championship yet.
Yep, long ways to go, mate. Long ways to go. The likes of McLaren, Red Bull, and Alpine, they've got quite the ladder to climb, but it can be done if all three tiers start firing on all cylinders. Like we've seen, Haas, Aston Martin, Alfa Romeo, and AlphaTauri. You know, those three teams have been the most consistent. And that's why they're up the four teams. That's why they're up the top, mate.
Yeah, absolutely, and I'll be a little bit biased, and I'll add Ferrari into that the last couple of weeks. In Tier 3, we've started to get some good results. In Tier 2, they haven't been a million miles away, and they're getting good results. And the Tier 1 boys are really starting to look rapid. So, from a biased point of view, the Ferrari boys are coming. Maybe not as quick as we'd hope, but we're definitely coming.
It's like Game of Thrones, mate. Winter is coming. It's when is it coming? But that is the big question. And hello to all of our viewers out there tonight. We got Bozler in the chat. King Burger all the way from Germany. Guten Tag to you, my friend. That was a terrible, yes, terrible accent. I know. But it is what it is. But here we go. We should. We haven't. A bit 2 minutes in, mate. We haven't got anyone out.
Crazy Kiwi will be first man on track.
Crazy Kiwi. There we go. So he's gonna. It's gonna be an age for him to get down this pit lane. It's a very long move. So it's almost another 10 garage slots. 20 garage boxes in the pit lane past the F1 garage. So it's basically twice the length of a normal pit lane.
Yeah, that it is, mate. And we worked it out last night that the average time lost in the pit lane here at Great Britain is about 30 seconds. So
high 20s. Yeah.
We saw the undercut very, very powerful last night, and that is definitely going to be the quickest way forward. For those guys that are willing to try it, mate.
Yep, definitely. And with tyre wear not very high at all here, you can almost do the whole race on a medium compound, mate. I'm not sure what percentage you finish your mediums on, but I'm sure they wouldn't have been over 40%.
No, it was very low. I think it was only about 37 once it got over the line. It's more the overheating in the very high speed corners. The amount of pushing I was doing to keep a few of those boys behind me last night was a little bit ridiculous, and I was just overheating the tyres a little bit. As you commentated on a couple of times last night, mate, doing a little bit of Tokyo Drift style.
Yeah, definitely, mate, and that's why the mediums sort of come back to you. They're a very good race tyre around here, and in qualifying, the softs absolutely smashed the first and second sectors. But in the third sector, the mediums come back because they're just not quite overheating as much after you exit Maggots, Beckett and Chapel there.
Yeah, I'm trying to work out who the first man on track is, as I'm just trying to get on board with someone that's doing a lap.
The Stig, mate. The Stig in the Williams, and you can take us through this lap.
Yeah, absolutely. So he's just coming... I'm trying to find out where he is. To be brutally honest, he's just coming onto the back straight now. As he's going around. So who else do we see on the lap, mate?
I think an Alpine mate of Suicide 5. He's coming through the loop now, and he's about to exit Aintree onto the Wellington Straight. But take it over, mate.
Yeah, absolutely. And as fast as you can, get that power down as you're coming down the what is the front straight here, really. And I've just lost my little track map, so I'm not quite sure where we're at, but we're into Woodcote now, so I'm all over it. As you try and cut the corner there on the right hand side just a little bit, gives you a nice run here into the Cops corner, or the Hamilton versus Verstappen corner, as a lot of people have called it this season. Into Maggots and through Beckett's. You want to carry some nice speed through there and really open the car up as you come out of Chapel onto the Hangar Straight. and he's looked a little bit twitchy, but hasn't looked too bad at all. Darkness Abyss just hanging out on the racing line. Not too much doing there, I wouldn't have thought, but definitely might have hampered Suicide 5 just a little bit, just staying a little bit lazy. But the last couple of corners here for Suicide 5, and he will be looking to set a very nice time as he gets a little bit of a twitch there out of club, and he does a 128.6, immediately beaten by Nick Magoo with a 128.1.
Yeah, Nick Magoo, nice lap there. And pole time last night was a 7.8, I believe, from Raymond. So we're already pretty close to that, mate. As you would sort of expect here, these guys are a little bit quicker. But we'll jump on board with Johnny M4, mate, in the Red Bull. He's just coming out of Luffield now and through onto Woodcote, down this old pit straight, or the international pit straight, they like to call it, where the old pit lane was. And it's all soft.
Oh, he's around.
There's a spin at Cops there for the Red Bull. It's not the first time we've seen a Red Bull round there in this week or in the F1 2021 season, as I think Darkness Abyss is just coming through now in the Alpine. So we'll switch on board to him. And I think it was a tow for Darkness Abyss. Oh, sorry, for Suicide 5 last time around, and that's why Darkness was on the racing line in this part of the track where he's coming now.
No worries. So he is coming down the hanger straight now, and the DRS is wide open on that Alpine. And there's a couple of different lines you can take through this corner here. It is the corner of Stowe there. A couple of really nice race lines through there. I found last night the wider line was a much better launch for the car, and I managed to hang on to quite a few positions through there last night.
Bang! Darkness smashes smashes it onto the front row, and Suicide 5 not far behind in the other Alpine. So these boys looking pretty quick here. And hello to everyone in the chat. Nat Hammer, you want to see the tyres? You can see the tyres. Guess what? Everyone's on the softs, mate. So relax. It's Q1, mate. Everyone's on the softs.
That's fair. That's play on.
We'll flick back to old Brad Tay, mate, in the Mercedes, coming down to the Vale chicane to close off his lap as Rui is retired from the session out of Cops, mate. He is out.
Yeah, he's in the wall, mate.
Yeah, he's in the wall quite near to where Verstappen went in. But Brad Tay goes second.
And,
nice little lap there from the
we're just
Mercedes.
seeing the Alpines come around the corner now, and it is where Verstappen went out. He's either just
a little bit further around, but yeah,
he's either just
similar area.
Understeered or whatever's happened there, but he's gone straight on at Cops there.
Yeah, heartbreak for the man. He is of UK origin, old Rui boy. So that's not what he wanted to spend his evening reserving and be out early in qualifying. But it's not his night over, as we know. Crazy Kiwi and Fury Straight will be joining him from the back of the grid.
Yeah, absolutely. Those two gentlemen, as we've mentioned, are serving a qualifying ban tonight for, let's call it, indiscretions that have been happening throughout the course of the season.
That's a good word. I like that. Oh, who's that around? It's Darkness Abyss, mate, down at turn 1 as Donny goes 6th. But he's off where we saw quite a few drivers go off last night. Down, sort of spinning at the apex of Abbey, and your trajectory takes you into that runoff area, and I guess that's why it's there. Yeah,
that it does, and it catches you out. It's not the easiest corner. It certainly looks like an easy corner, but it's definitely not, and I expect it to catch a few more boys out tonight.
Yeah, here we go. Dino, last week's race winner in the Ferrari, coming down the hanger straight here, purple in the middle sector, and that's the same colour as his helmet. We'll be able to put a purple lap time together to go P1 provisionally in that number 23 Ferrari Moose.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a lot of time to be found out there at the moment, as our quickest time is only a 27.7. Dino with a 27.4. That's a really nice lap time there from him, and I would imagine he's going to be very, very safe. But yeah, if you get your setup right on this track, there is a lot of time out there. Personally, I found a lot of time in qualifying, especially last night. Was about a second up on my last run in Q2 and dropped it a little bit too early out of the final corner, causing me to lose it. And but I was a good second up on what I needed to get into Q3. So if you can get your setup spot on, there is a lot of time to be found out there.
Yeah, that's it. Donny finding about half a second there to go to a 28.0. That's pretty close at the moment between all the lap times that have been set if you exclude Dino, but he's not that far away either. But we'll go on board with Milligane's championship leader coming down the Wellington Straight, mate. But I've heard that it's going to be pissing it down for the start and drying by the end of the race.
Oh. Well, of course, mate. We're in Great Britain. It's not unlike Melbourne, mate, where you get 4 seasons in a day. But when you get a little bit of a drizzle in the UK, you get an absolute downpour. So big things I'm expecting if we're going to have a wet start to this race, and it'll be all to play for. He doesn't invalidate though. It'll be all to play for in terms of strategy with these guys in the race if they're going to go to the slick tyres after a bit of rain.
Yep, that's it, mate. Absolutely, and the softs can do a very long portion in this race. So if it goes dry in the second or third, the second third of the race, you can almost take softs 60% of the laps, which would be about 18 laps. So they can go a long way. And here comes Milliganes. He was a long way off at Cops. He's a long way up in the championship, and he's not too far back off Dino.
Yeah, more importantly, he's had that mistake and he's still thereabouts. So I reckon he's got a good couple of tenths in him for the Q2 and into the Q3 session.
Speaking of having a little bit, here comes Tabbed, mate, in the Aston Martin. Had a bit of a rough week last week, did Tabbed. He's looked good up until then, but everyone has a couple of rough weeks here and there, or even often, depending on what your form's like. But
yeah, well, we won't mention Bahrain, hey?
It was just the angst, mate, of new game, new season. It gets the better of us.
Yeah, sure.
But since then, mate, certain drivers in question have been brilliant.
Yeah, absolutely. And the Milliganes is probably the pick of the bunch there, as he's got, as we said, a massive lead in this championship currently.
That's it, mate. Here we go. A bit of strategy already underway, mate, from the Haas boys. They're out on the medium compound trying to save a set of softs, mate, for the race. And if it's going to be raining to dry, that's a very good decision. So if they can get through on these mediums, they're going to be in with a great shot of challenging later on.
Yeah, we heard it last night that the ideal race strategy is to start on the soft tyre and as quickly as possible get onto the medium tyre. But if we're expecting rain at the start of the race, mate, it's going to bring that strategy right back into play. Start on those inters and take softs to the end if you can get half distance.
Yeah, Nunham are getting a cheeky little toe for Williams there. Not sure if the Williams was just napping or if there's a bit of friendship going on there between the two rivals in air quotes. But Nat Hammer, who's been in a bit of drama in recent weeks in terms of incidents, he only goes 12th on those mediums.
Yeah, I don't think that'll be enough. And he's quickly pipped to 13th.
One thing you got to remember is, we'll go on board with Kraken, he's trying the same thing. He's actually got no ERS turned on, has Kraken, and I think Nat Hammer...
Possibly a Delta.
Could have, Delta, yeah, possibly. Nat Hammer's just charging up once again. But we'll go to the Red Bull? No, the Red Bull of Johnny M4. We'll go to him, mate. Who has a 27.8 in the pocket, so he's probably safe there. And with 2 drivers DNF'd and Fury serving a qualifying ban, they're only going to lose 2 more drivers.
Yeah, that's exactly right, mate.
Oh, spin for Johnny!
Big spin for Johnny.
Again! Same corner as before, mate. It's almost a mirror image of what we've just seen about 6 or so minutes ago.
Yeah, he doesn't have it all his own way at that corner. Just kissing that right hand curb a little bit too much on the entry into that corner, and that really unsettles the car. You've got to try not to take any of that curb, I found last night, because anything that unsettles the car at those high speeds will turn you around very, very quickly. Yeah,
that's it. Nick Magoo, while we're looking at Johnny, went P5 from McLaren, so Nick Magoo got some pace this evening.
Yeah.
Maybe he's a bit boosted by that Pfizer shot. Who knows?
Huh.
One of the men who strong for the vaccine. The call in the chats, man, and I'm with him on the vaccine, mate. As soon as we all get it, we can go back to normality. So I'm all for it.
Yeah, well, I had mine quite a while ago. I'm double jabbed.
Well, you are that's essential worker, aren't you? So you got.
Well, it's not. It wasn't
earlier.
necessarily that I'm an essential worker. It was more the fact that I'm an emergency services.
Yes, that's right.
Person. As we're just seeing Kraken look to improve and improve.
Bang,
he does.
Wow.
With a 27.5.
That's a very good lap. That is a great lap from Kraken.
Yeah. So as an emergency services person, I've been eligible since the start. So. I didn't necessarily want to have it, but I got told from my employment that if I didn't have it, it would be sayonara. So, I had it, and now my 5G is immaculate.
That's it, mate. I think that's going to be the case in a lot of workplaces, and it's been proven that they're a safe vaccine if you're someone with no sort of existing medical conditions, and then you look into it if you've got one of those. So. If you're just a normal person, there shouldn't be an issue, so no need to be apprehensive.
Yes, of course, with all the riots going on in Melbourne at the moment, we do...
point of discussion.
Absolutely. Everyone, make sure you get on the blower and you ring your mates. Make sure everyone's all right, because, the rioting and the protesting, it's absolute BS. And I've got no time for it, to be fair. So,
yep, I don't even want to talk about it, mate.
Everyone's just got to get around each other, mate.
That's it. Just show a bit of love to each other. That's all we need. And speaking of giving some love, it was Are You OK Day a couple of weeks ago. But we'll relay the message once again, because it is important, Moose, especially among this sim racing community. It is a majority of men who can be a bit uncomfortable talking about that sort of thing. But my inbox is always open to anyone who needs just an ear, mate. So to send me a message or Moose, we'll be happy to have a chat with you. We've always gone through some sort of thing in our lives, and we're always open for a conversation. But back to the action. Donnie goes 9th for McLaren, so that should keep him safe there, mate.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're seeing in the chat Banana Hammock saying the ground is moving, and it was moving in Victoria this morning, mate. We had a very,
it definitely
very
wasn't a
large
big lap
earthquake.
time from Milliganes.
Yeah,
big lap
very
time
nice
from Milliganes, and we had a pretty big earthquake. I think about 0.6 on the 6.0 on the Richter scale. So
yeah, absolutely. It was felt as far north
It really
as
did shake
Sydney.
things.
Oh, it did, and it lasted quite a while. It lasted about a minute where I was. So
yeah, it was a good 20, 30 seconds where I was at. So I was like, what the hell was going on? And then I realised, well, it's a bloody earthquake, and I was like, well, this is pretty cool. Obviously, there was a bit of destruction, but these things, it wasn't too bad. Just a couple of building facades and that sort of thing.
Sorry, mate, I fell out of bed. Oh dear. No, I was up in the hills, and it was pretty intense up there, to be fair. I was sat in the car, and everything started moving around me. So very scary stuff. But speaking of scary stuff, Blue Dog, the Stig, and Fury Strat, although Fury Strat on a quali ban. So Blue Dog and the Stig. Blue Dog's about a 10th up. The Stig is about 3/10 up. So Nat Hammer, he'd look to be improving himself, and he's half a second up. So could all be to play for here, as the checkered flag has now officially dropped. So it is.
Oh, the Stig doesn't make it.
Stig is out in P16. Will he be pipped by Blue Dog, who is not bad at all in the race, but he just struggles a little bit in qualifying. I've observed, but
a man of consistency is Blue Dog.
Yeah, and
but he doesn't quite
he doesn't improve. Loses a little bit in that third sector. Very unlucky for the lad as he goes P16. So we will officially lose Crazy Kiwi Rui Fury Strat with his qualifying ban. But the drivers we will lose are the Stig and Blue Dog on pace alone.
Yeah, that's it, mate. And Flourish, who's normally well up inside the top 10, only just makes it this week.
Sorry, mate, say that again.
I was just saying that Mr. Flourish Expire, who's normally well up inside the top 10, P15 in Q1.
Yeah, he's done 3 laps on those soft compound tyres as well, and that's not the end of the world. As I was setting my my PBs on 4-lap old softs last night, so just once again proving that the tyre wear is not really there, and you can really do a lot of damage once you get those tyres warmed up.
That's it, mate. And we've already gone over the bottom 5, and we're almost going to get underway for Q2. But it was Milligan's on top, mate, and he's very closely followed by Dino 420 behind. And Dino's had the pace this season, just hasn't had the results.
No, that's exactly right. But we have seen that his race pace is impeccable, and especially for a controller player. So. I would expect him to be somewhere thereabouts come the pointy end of qualifying.
Yep. And honestly, I think Kraken's the pick of the bunch there on the medium compound, which are about 5 tenths slower than the soft. So there you go. That speaks to of how good that lap was.
Yeah, absolutely. A very nice lap there indeed. As Nat Hammer to get through has used a set of softs as well. So Haas not having it all their own way, but they're still very, very comfortable.
Yeah, that's it. Haas looking good. As well as that, well, we lost... Did we lose a double car? We lost both the Alfa Romeos with
Yes.
Fury on the quali ban and Rui with his crash. But other than that, all the constructors are through.
And we're seeing our very first hashtag Ask Moosey of the night. Considering what happened last night, have you ever run out of fuel whilst you've been called out to a job? Of course, referring to the fact that I am a fiery. There's a rule in CFA, mate. There's a rule in the fire brigade that the fuel tank never gets under 3/4 full. So if that answers your question, it's well and truly a no. Because if you get anywhere close to running out of fuel in a fire truck, there's something wrong.
Yeah, that's it. You don't want to be worrying about that while you've got emergency scenarios going on, Moose. Obviously,
No.
you're the one to speak about that. Obviously, I'm not, too experienced in that sort of means.
Shaz as well. Shaz is in the brigade.
That's it. So we always appreciate the service of our servicemen and women.
That's before you hear us when we're joking.
We keep it PC on the channel, mate.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, we're there to serve.
That's it. You're there for the community. But it's going to be Nat Hammer and the Haas, mate. And we've got a couple out on the medium, so there you go. It's going to be differing strategies. We know that the Haasses are going for the softs, and it looks like some others are going for the mediums.
Yeah, it's, the Haas boys every week they tend to set a delta lap time, so I'm not expecting the ERS to be turned on right now. Nick Magoo behind. Yeah. Is it Nick Magoo or Donny? It's Donny. I'd expect Donny to be the first man on a proper lap.
Yeah,
as we're just seeing
ERS.
that confirmed with Nat Hammer not having ERS.
Well, we'll go right with Donny, mate. So we're right on board with him in the McLaren, coming through farm now. And it's about where that curve starts onto the brake for Village here. Hook up the apex nicely and then swing it back out to the right so you can open up the exit here at the loop. And then you just slowly get on the power, come through this little kink of Aintree, open the DRS, and now we're powering down the Wellington Straight under the Armco barrier and moving all the way to the right. 50-metre board, that's your braking point. And a late apex here at Brooklands, and then open up Luffield here. And it's a bit of a Sebastian Vettel line for Donny there, opening it up with a V to get the better exit. And now we come through Woodkit here, down towards Stowe Corner, where we've had many incidents before, opening it up with the curb. A small lift there for Donny, down to 7th gear, and up into 8th before we come into this part of the track. Maggots now, through the right, then the left at Beckett's, and it's now exiting through Chapel. And we come onto the hangar straight. The DRS opens through that small parted shuffle, the exit, the left kink. And we're powering now. The ERS turned up, the DRS open.
He's
and
just
again,
close enough to get a toe as well.
Yeah, where that curve starts on the brake, 5th gear, open up the corner, swing it through, hope it sticks. And again where the curve starts, onto the brakes, misses the apex slightly there. And now the final corner at Club. And what is it going to be? It's a 128.3 for Donny, so we've seen better, but maybe that's a used set, who knows?
Yeah, quite possibly, and we're just seeing in the chat, we're seeing a little bit of a strategic coaching, if you will, from Mr. Mount. We're hearing that it's going to be a wet start to the race, so maybe not super strategic this Q2 session, but if it does remain dry for the race, this will definitely be the tyres that they start the race on.
Yeah, well, I've got a report from the Alpine camp that it's going to be wet start, but maybe they're trying to do mediums to save a set of that soft compound tyre, mate. Maybe they've realised they missed the opportunity in Q1, and they want to do it now in Q2. That's definitely a possibility. But who's out there on a lap, mate? It's Milligains, no. Donny, Nick Magoo, no. But Donny's pushing again, so we go on board with Donny once again. We've given him a bit of airtime here at the start of the session. It's a good lap time from Tabs, but Milligains, he's about a second back on the medium, so Tabs flying.
Yeah, absolutely. It must be said that even if the race start is dry and these guys do go through on the medium tyres, the boys last night that started on the medium tyres, they were very, very rapid at the end indeed. So the alternate strategy, not the worst thing in the world if it is a dry start to the race.
I don't think there's a bad strategy here if you do a one stop and you don't touch the hards.
Yeah, that's fair call.
I think it's pretty simple, mate. If you start on the softs, you get a good start. If you get started on the mediums, you're quick at the end. So if you can start on the mediums and hang on to everyone out in front, well, you're looking golden. And here's a big toe for Johnny M4, mate, down towards Stowe Corner. Oh, he's on that medium compound. Who was that? It was Tabbed F1, so I'm not sure if they've got a bit of friendship going on behind the scenes, but working together here.
Yeah, that they are, and Johnny M4 just coming out of the final corner now. And he will set his first lap time, and it is a 1:28 flat, which I would assume is going to be good enough to get through this Q2 session.
Mate, I'm going to go out and say that's not going to be enough. I think we're going to see everyone out on soft, seeing as it's going to be a wet start. But we flick back to Darkness Abyss now. He was P8 in Q1. He's out on the medium, so he's trying it. He might be trying to save a set of softs because I know he intended to do the soft tyre for the start. As Brad Tay goes up into second on the softs, mate.
Yes, he does, and he's looked pretty good so far tonight. He's definitely got some pace in that Mercedes.
That he does, mate.
Were you talking about Brad Tay there? Sorry.
Oh yeah, no, I was talking about. We can talk about Brad Tate. We can talk about Darkness Abyss. He's feeling a little bit better this week. He's struggled to get going. He had a bit of a hiatus. He started in earlier on in season 1 and left us, but he's back and trying to find a bit of a form of old. He took 3 pole positions in season 1, so looking to get back to those winning ways.
Yeah, absolutely. He was one of my bigger rivals last season in the what was then Tier 2, but he was definitely too quick for me to hang with. So big things expected here for Darkness Abyss, as we're seeing a Red Bull going very slowly, and that is Apache Franks. Just letting some cars through.
That's it, mate. So we're going board with your teammate Dino, Mr. Weed Smoking 420 fam. I don't actually think he smokes weed, or maybe he does.
Each to their own, mate. I'm not going to judge.
I don't know. Maybe that's what's powering his car. Maybe that's what got him to win out in Austria last week. Maybe that's the trick.
Bit of biodiesel.
Yeah, biofuels, mate. We do know F1's trying to be a bit more sustainable.
Get a little bit of hemp in there, and
we really shouldn't have said that, mate.
Hey, I didn't say anything. I shouldn't have said that.
Mate, it's a zinger. I had a zinger, mate, before tonight's broadcast.
Don't you dare blame your political incorrectness on the zing. How dare you?
It's a zing, mate. Mate, it's the dirtiness of the zing.
Oh, well, we'll leave that where it lies, and we'll jump on board here with Suicide 5, who's just coming onto the front straight now.
Yes, he is. As M Stone in the Williams moves out of the way, and he went up into second, mate, while we're a little bit distracted there. So good lap there from M Stone. Dino only managed fourth, so a little bit further back off the pace. Tab looking quick.
Yeah, that he is. And we're just seeing Forever Shack in the chat saying the zing makes him act up. And do you know what? I act up for the zing. I'll make sure I make a fool of myself just to be able to get a bit of the zing. So
it's a different personality once you've had a zing and once you've before the zing.
It is.
It's a bit like a Snickers bar, you know. If you haven't had a zing in a while, you're just not yourself.
Eat a Snickers. How good is Snickers, by the way? Just a shout out to the nougaty, chocolatey, nutty goodness of Snickers. When nothing else will do, it'll be a Snickers. We'll take any sponsorship we can get.
Mate, if the Colonel is watching, mate, I'm dead serious about this.
Oh,
we want
100%. If anybody from the Colonel is watching, indeed the Colonel himself, jump on, mate. We are all about the zing here at the OSRL.
Indeed we are. Absolute. He's on our screens right now. He's trying to zing down this old pit straight. He's keeping the tight line. But we've got a hashtag Ask Deezy, mates, and we've got a couple of them coming in. Oh, it's the same one from a couple of people. And how's the wheel coming on? So I did hear from Fanatec, so they've assessed it, and so I paid the repair cost.
Oof.
So I don't know if they've repaired it yet or if they've just assessed it, but I paid for it to be repaired, and I don't know if it's gonna be on the way back to me or what. But I paid that off this afternoon, so hopefully it'll be back. It'll probably be out. Or it won't be back by next week, I think. So another 2 races without it, hopefully.
That will include Portimao, mate.
I'm actually heartbroken about that. It took a week in the post to get there. So if it gets posted back to me tomorrow, there's a chance it could get back for Portimao. But look, I'm always accepting that it's going to be in the G29.
Yeah, I was gonna say if all else fails, revert back to the G29, mate.
Yeah, well, it's not that bad.
Oh, Flourish absolutely lit up the rear tyres out of the final corner there. So
he's struggling tonight, isn't he, mate? He just doesn't look like his usual self.
He's got good pace before that. If he hadn't have lit up the tyres, he's into that top 10.
Yeah, here comes championship leader Milligains. P3.
Had a swig of something.
Yeah, it was a water, mate. I've watched down the beer already. It didn't last long.
Oh dear.
Hashtag RCC, what was wrong with it? Good question, mate. But obviously it was a cheap fix because it was only a $50 fix.
Oh.
So, I did suspect that it might have just been a bit of a loose solder or a circuit or a wire somewhere, but I didn't want to take the risk of opening it up and voiding any sort of warranty or damaging it, so I just sort of sent it off. And so apparently it's going to be covered by OSRL, but wouldn't that be nice?
Jeez.
that would be ideal.
Well,
I mean, it's not that bad.
If anyone can hear me, I'm looking for a bloody a cockpit setup. I'm just saying, if they're splashing it.
Well, we'll get a donation going for Mr. Moose's streaming setup.
No, not the streaming setup. I just need a cockpit setup.
Just the race stand and the fanny tech.
No. I'm more than happy with the G29.
There you go, mate.
Yeah, I'm still on controller.
I remember when I used to love my G29.
I'm still on controller.
It's
Johnny
a
M4
disease.
definitely and truly gets a better time on the board.
Venti, you can have your unpopular opinion. No one's going to listen to you anyway,
that is Venti. That's a race ban. That is, how dare you?
That is atrocious.
That is.
He's been timed out. Well done.
Who
Mr. Jack,
deleted
thank
it?
you for that. Yep, absolutely. Everyone,
Oh.
get on it. Get on the case, mate. The only thing good from Red Rooster is a rooster roll, and it still gets absolutely clapped by a Zinger Burger. No fight, no discussion. These are the facts. So Donnie goes fourth, and Nick Magoo only manages 12th for McLaren.
We're just seeing in the chat from one of our viewers how the KFC sponsorship would work. Maybe KFC can sponsor the driver of the day. We could have the Zinger driver of the day, and the winner to get a KFC voucher. That is not a bad idea at all.
Mate, a free Zinger box for driver of the day, and that gives a bit more meaning behind the driver of the day. And maybe the winner, the Constructors Championships, they get a year's supply of KFC between the 6 of them.
Whoa, that's incredibly expensive. I would take full advantage of that.
Obviously, there'd be a limit behind it, but who knows? We're just spitballing here, but
in all seriousness, though, Venti, that is an atrocious comment. And, how dare you? Like, how is Red Rooster even a thing? Like, I never see anybody in Red Rooster.
I swear it's a drug front.
But having said that, we had Red Rooster last weekend, and like I got a meal for the missus and a meal for me, and an extra rooster roll because you have to, and it cost like $60. That's how they're still employed. You buy 3 things and they charge you $450 million.
Yeah, that's because they're all laced with cat, mate. They don't use flour. And Nick Magoo stays 12th once again. And we're getting to the business end of this session. Go on board with Darkness Abyss, currently 3/10 up. Previous best was on that medium. He's out there on the softs. And it's so tight that you just can't afford to be out on the mediums.
No, that's exactly right. And we are seeing all 15 drivers now on the soft compound tyre as the checkered flag has dropped. And only 2 of these men are going to have anything to say about it, and that is Nick Magoo, who is almost a 10th up in the end of the first sector, and Darkness Abyss, who's nearly 3/10 up, coming through Maggots and Beckett's now.
And Nat Hammer as well, mate. You can't count him out. He's out on
the
lap.
Dino 420 fam is out.
Yeah, he had a spin at Cops, mate. So his final lap was ruined.
Little bit reminiscent of myself last night.
Yeah, that's it. So you didn't make it through, but you just couldn't participate. But Darkness here, looking to get in and join Suicide 5 in the top 10. That would definitely be much better than what we saw last week from the Alpine boys. And he makes it, and he will be safe where he is. We go now to Nick Magoo. He's improving by 2 or so tenths in the McLaren, but Nat Hammer now needs to set that lap time to get through. And the drivers at risk are Brad Tate and Suicide 5.
Yeah, absolutely. And Nick Magoo just going to come across the line now, and he's going to improve, and only goes P11. Very unfortunate there from the lad. He's missed out by only 3 hundredths of a second, but it's a little bit more than that now as Nat Hammer, I'm pretty sure that has improved also.
So Nat Hammer makes it in. So we're going to lose Apache Franks on reserve for Red Bull. Flourish expired. Dino 420 fam, Nick Magoo and Brad Tate. And being as it's going to be a wet start, apparently, that means there's no real advantage to be starting outside of the top 10. You don't get any tyre advantage. And Mr. Sharky, if you could do that, that would be a great idea. Move over from Macca's to KFC, move up the chain, and get us the.
Hang on a second. Hang on. How high up the chain is he at Macca's? We could have the Big Mac driver of the day. I'm just Shaq. How much pull have you got here, mate?
Yeah, Shaq.
The Mac
he's a crew trainer, mate. So I'm pretty sure every 16-year-old white girl is a crew trainer at this point. And Shaq is basically a 16-year-old white girl in a man's body. So that is what it is. But we do have one driver, and it's cracking again, mate, on the medium. So he hasn't even touched the softs yet.
No, that's gonna really do wonders for him in the race, especially if it is a dry start. We did mention that alternate strategy is a very nice way to go. So not the end of the world for Kraken, as he's still got a full selection of soft compound tyres available to him.
Mate, he's got all the options open right now, and if he uses, he's gonna have 2 sets for the race. So, and yeah, he's Shaq's getting run through the ring right now in the chat as we it's all bants, it's all good fun. So we love to see it. And Moose, I'm just gonna be back in a second, mate. So you can get Q3 kicked off for us.
No worries at all, and I'm loving all the enthusiasm in the viewers chat. But once Deezy gets back, we might put a poll up of what we think is a better 2 a.m. food, pizza or kebabs. That gets me a little bit up and about. Can't beat a good meat lover's pizza, but at that time of the morning, kebab is the way to go. As we're seeing, Darkness Abyss may be the first man out. No, Nat Hammer will be the first man on track in this Q3 session. And you would expect that it will be soft compound tyres right across the board, and it is that. So Nat Hammer, first man out on track for his warm-up lap. We're definitely seeing a few of you guys already weighing in on that kebab versus pizza chat, and there's not a whole lot of love for pizza at the moment. As kebab definitely looking very prevalent there. Souvlaki's from Blue Dogs. Souvlaki's needs to be thrown out. Potato cake or scallop? That is a great question. It is a potato cake, mate.
Darkness Abyss trying to type in the Twitch chat on his outlap and he's off into the gravel. Focus on the racing, son!
Is he, has he got any damage? No.
No damage done, but it's just funny. And I think the biggest point of debate, is it a Palmer or a Palmy? And it's obviously a Palmer.
It's obviously a Palmer.
If you say it's a Palmy, you will be kicked from the league or you will receive 5 license points, so...
It's exactly the same with potato cake versus potato scallop. If you say it's a potato scallop, you're an idiot.
Yes. Absolutely right.
We'll get back to business.
Also, if you call a HSP a meat box, that is the biggest. You can't use the worst one of them all. Meat box. I'm sorry. It is a HSP, a halal snack.
Oh, I'll tell you what, mate. It has gone off here in the chat.
That's how you spice up the chat. You just fish with some bait, mate, and they bite.
Oh, mate, I put the question to the viewers of whether it was a pizza or a kebab, and it's ended up in this absolute fight to the death between all these guys. Battered Mars bars is an absolute delicacy. Banana Hammock, you're onto something there.
Yes, he is, mate.
Oh,
the Haas man
so
watching his teammates pull off the toe there, mate. A brilliant toe from the Haas boys there.
Yeah, absolutely, and they've orchestrated it very, very well indeed.
Wow. Yeah, that's caught my attention, but I'm not going to give it any light of day.
Yeah.
So Naham's going to lay down the gauntlet here. But
wait, aren't
honestly,
you two brothers? Oh, dear.
You wouldn't think it, but apparently we are.
Oh my! Wow. That's wow. That's an intervention that your family has to have, and that's it. As Nat Hammer has done a 27-1 to be the first man to set a lap time. As we're just hearing a little bit of a rustling in Deezy's mic, so not sure if he's got a problem. Milligains has only managed a 27-2. A little bit further back, Darkness Abyss and M-Stone 27-3. So a tenth and a half at the moment, separating the top 4 drivers, who are the only men to... Johnny's out. Johnny has lost it just out of cops there.
He's lost it. Yeah, he's lost it a few times there tonight. His tab goes 2 tenths quicker than that Hammer at the front. So he is flying here. Honorable Donny goes into 6, which is the last of the lap times we've had set so far. But Johnny out, mate. And it's not the first time we've seen him around in that corner. He's He's got pace, but he's struggling to put it all together.
Yeah, that's exactly right, mate. And I'm not sure what happened with your mic there, but I'm guessing that you went to slap your brother in the back of the head. So, very well done to yourself there. As Kraken's just coming onto the hanger straight now, and he'll be the next man to cross the line for a lap time.
Yeah, I think I think Nahammer returned the favour of the toe down the Wellington where they did it for Nat Hammer. So these boys are working very, very well together. And that could be the difference between starting on the front row or starting on pole or not.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And we're seeing in the chat for you to just have a look at the subs. So I don't know if you can see it or not, but if you want to take us through the subs that we've got.
I think it just means everyone's got a sub badge. I think that's what he means.
Speaking of Fire Brigade, we've just received a fire call.
Well, Moose, if you've got a fire, you are...
Oh, I'm not going anywhere, mate.
You're not going anywhere?
No.
Well, I was going to say feel free to go, but happy to have you here as well.
It's, do you know what? I'm not sure that it's... It's super weird, but it's saying that the address for the fire is at our fire station, or just across the road from our fire station. So not sure.
The road,
not sure what's happening
there.
there.
Equipment themselves, mate.
Well, mate, do you know what? We had a fire call a little, probably a few months back now, and it was a factory literally across the road from our fire station. The volunteers didn't even have to take the truck out the door. We just walked across the road.
Yeah.
That's
probably the best place to be if you've got a fire. But as we were saying earlier, another natural disaster sort of thing. We had the earthquake this morning in Melbourne, and
absolutely.
I'm not sure if anyone in the chat was from sort of the border region of Victoria or just into New South Wales, Canberra, maybe in Sydney. If you felt that.
So I have friends in all the way up in Newcastle that said they felt it. So,
well, there you go.
It was definitely felt by a friend of mine in Canberra. It was definitely felt by friends of mine in Adelaide. So it definitely got around as as we previously said, it was a 6.0 on the Richter scale. Very powerful stuff. And fun fact that I heard on the radio for you today, mate. It is the biggest earthquake we've ever had since settlement times.
Well, there you go. That's pretty big. And tabbed on his third lap goes faster, another 10th.
Yeah, I know. I saw it. Can't exactly go anywhere, honey.
But Tab's flying out there, mate. He's going very strong as the others are just going to start coming out. And he's going to have to pick up the pace to get back out for another run.
Yeah, that he is. And Tab is absolutely in a class of his own out front with that 26.8. He's definitely doing everything he needs to at the moment.
Yep, that's it, mate. And,
what's Ruby and Maeve, mate?
Well, it's from the show Sex Education, which a few of the boys have been getting on Netflix.
Is that the one on Netflix with the really big schlong?
No, it's I think that's one Sex Life, mate. There's all kind of sex going on Netflix at the moment. I am a young 21-year-old, mate, so sometimes you just can't control the urges. But
wow,
it is what it is. And Darkness, get out there, son. Go and send it, my friend. And I'll choose the outcome. It's definitely Blonde Maeve for the win.
Is this something I need to go and have a look at?
It's pretty bad.
Oh,
it's good but bad.
How do you spell Maeve?
Maeve.
Maeve. Sex Education.
And what TCAM settings are those? Well, they're pretty similar to Yano Op Mirrors. I can. Is anyone out on a lap? Millie goes out on a lap, so can't really show you them. But It's just reduced field of view and move forward slightly and angle down slightly, basically F1 provider. So if you watch Alex Gillen's latest video on YouTube, Alex Gillen, he talks about camera settings and it's pretty good watch. So,
mate, are they the only two that you had to pick from, or is there others in this show? Because they're both pretty ordinary.
they're British, mate. So,
oh well, Billy Piper, hands down, mate.
If that's a man, I'm concerned.
No, not at all. It's the chick that plays Rose Tyler in Doctor Who.
Well,
she played the lead character in Secret Diary of a Call Girl. She's been in a sprinkling of other stuff as well, but Billy Piper's where it's at in terms of the Brits, mate. Was
so Milligains, he invalidated it, so we go back to his teammate Absolute.
Yeah. Shaq, Megan Fox is very overrated, man. Like maybe 10 years ago, but she's with MGK now, and she's just terrible.
For her age, she's looking good, but she's had all the Botox, so you know.
Yeah.
So but yeah, she's pretty hot.
How do I
Transformers Megan Fox.
Yeah, but like that's 10 years ago. All right, she was
back
hot
in her
10 years
prime,
ago.
though.
But, I'm like unpopular opinion. Natalie Portman. Oh,
the Aussie, mate.
Is she an Aussie?
Actually, no. She might. I think maybe maybe I'm talking out the side of my neck.
Yeah.
Absolute here, trying to get a lap time on the board, mate, for Alpha Tauri, and goes to 6. But look how close it is, man. It's ridiculously close.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah, old Anakin Skywalker's baby mama definitely does the job for me. As Suicide 5 is going to look to open up a lap and get the job done for himself, as he might even be the last man on a hot lap.
No, Emberstone behind, just starting one behind, but I think Tabbed is going to be there as well, and Crack, the two Husk boys, so it's going to be right up to the 00.
Oh,
and Banana Hammock, if you've noticed someone's got weird-shaped thumbs, I'm not sure what you're looking at. But Championship leader sets off on another attempt. He sits in 5th, as does the top 3. Currently, they're all setting off now. So the fastest times are going to come right at the end here, mate.
Yeah, that they are. The
Darkness is spun.
We've mentioned track evolution in the past, so Darkness will be done here as the checkered flag is down. Not sure if I should be concerned about Mr. Mount or not, but he has mentioned Leonardo DiCaprio in that who's hot and who's not challenge chat that we were just having. So, mate, if you're a bit of a Leo fan, each to their own.
Mate, you can't go past Leo, mate.
Oh, you can in that conversation.
Oh well, in that conversation, but in another conversation, you just can't. Oh.
Now, there's the big poll. Was there enough room for Leo on the door? Did Rose in Titanic leave him out to get killed? There was plenty of room on that door, in my opinion.
Mate, this might shock you, but I've actually never watched Titanic.
Oh, yeah, well done. You're doing yourself a favour. Whoa! M. Stone with a stonker of a lap.
Oh, Milligains is invalidated again, mate. So we flick back to Tab, who's probably looking favourite for pole, and he's a couple tenths up to the second sector. He's just going to hold it through Vale here and exit with good traction through Club. But what a lap from M. Stone. Regardless if he starts first or fourth or anywhere in between, that's a cracking lap.
A 26.6 there from Tab. F1 has taken that pole position back as Kraken elevates himself up onto the front row with a 26.7. So that is...
Suicide 5, mate! 4! That is a great lap from him. I missed it, but... Mate, we haven't seen him up this far all season. So, cracking lap from him as well. But Tabbed and M-Stone, as well as the Kraken, everyone in Q3 looking very good.
Yeah, absolutely.
But there you go. Tabbed takes pole position from Kraken. It's an M-Stone, Suicide 5, and Absolute. And Nat Hammer, Osro, Donny, Milligains, Darkness Abyss, and Johnny and 4 is, I'm not sure if, I know you're a fiery mate, but I didn't know a fire truck was in your house.
No. That's just how I get pager messages and stuff like that.
Fair enough.
And it is a stop message, so there was no fire by the look of it.
Well, good thing you didn't exit the premises, mate.
Nah, never, mate. I've mentioned to the higher ups before that on race day I will never ever go to a fire after 5 p.m. Just
There you
in
go, mate.
case.
Priorities. OSRL is more important than some fire.
From another hashtag Ask Moosey, would I get into trouble off the missus if she overheard the discussion? No, I don't think so.
Mate, there's nothing wrong with having a look.
I don't think so at all.
Mate, if it's an innocent, just having a bit of fun, that's fine. If
And-
you take it further,
And you know what? I think if I ever had the shot with Natalie Portman, hell would have frozen over well and truly. So, as
But it
we
is
are
wet,
seeing
mate.
rain, mate. Rain.
mate, I say into tyres, so it's definitely not wet enough for the wets, mate. But it's going to be intermediate conditions, and that's what we love to see, something to spice it up.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's definitely going to spice things up here, especially with quite a lot of these corners being quite heavy acceleration zones. So a lot of load going through the tyres, very easy to unsettle your car, as we've seen from a couple of drivers there throughout qualifying and throughout last night. So lots of loads going through those tyres. Could we see just a little bit of chaos play its part?
We could, mate, but none of the drivers have had any inters, at least since we got underway, mate, and I'm not sure a lot of them would have done wet practice. So driving blind, I imagine a lot of these guys, and it's going to be interesting to see who lives with the conditions. But I'll take us through the grid, mate, and it'll be all your call at the start.
I think it's that.
So it's intermediate tyres for all 20 of the drivers, as you would expect in these conditions. It's raining, but not heavily. It's definitely those intermediate conditions. It's tabbed on pole position with Kraken alongside. It's then M Stone and Suicide 5 on the second row. So good qualifying from both of them. Absolute down in 5th, joins by Nat Hammer. Donny up in 7th. He's always looking dangerous on his day, Donny. And championship leader down there in 8th, so just couldn't get it done in Q3. Darkness Abyss there in 9th, the second Alpine. And Johnny M4, who he's looked quick but unpolished this evening so far. Brad Tay and Nick Magoo, the top two outside of the top 10, which is, I could have said that much better, but it is what it is. Dino 420 Fam and Fire Expire, two very quick guys who just couldn't get it going in qualifying. Maybe they've got a bit of race pace. Maybe they've compromised the setup in anticipation of this intermediate running. Apache Franks and Blue Dog coming off the 8th row. It's then the Stig and Mr. Fury Strat, 17th and 18th. And the final row of the grid is Rui and Crazy Kiwi, mate. So two of the international boys, the Kiwi and the Brits, are on the back row, joined by the man of Portuguese heritage in front. But it's all your call now, mate. Hello to all our viewers. We hope you're going to enjoy this 26 laps around Silverstone, but it's now Red Bull Moose taking over for the race start.
Thank you very much, mate. And it's definitely not looking very wet at all out there. Definitely no standing water. So the intermediates, I'm not sure that they'll last incredibly long once that dry line does start to appear. But we're just coming into the last part of the track now where they will line up on the grid.
15 minutes to the dry, so that's when it's forecasted, but that's the first sort of interval, I think, so...
Yeah, perfect.
It could dry earlier than then. We know you can sort of run in very light drizzle on softs and get away with it in sometimes, but there you go, Moose.
They're very, very good comments from yourself. So this is Tier 2 of the OSRL. I'm Red Bull Moose. Alongside me is Sandeezy, as we're just about to get underway here. As we're seeing a little glitch through the system. We have 1, we have 3, we have 5 lights. And it is lights out and away we go here in Great Britain, the home of Formula One, the Alpine. They're getting very twitchy. Suicide 5. There's a Mercedes off into the grass and a lot of understeer for a lot of these drivers, but they all have seemed to navigate that turn one very nicely. Milligains down the inside there, but for the lead here we have Tabbed and Kraken going wheel to wheel. As we also have Milligains and Suicide 5. Suicide 5 getting back past Milligains, but here comes Milligains once again. As now we're on to the back straight. Absolute got a really nice run here on Suicide 5. A little bit further back as we'll go back up the front with these two out the front. And it is very, very nice start from Tabbed F1 out in front, mate.
Oh, side by side, the Alpine and the Red Bull around Luffield, mate. Outside line for the Alpine. Should get a better exit as they come through Woodkit now. He's got the speed. Can he out-drag him down to Cop's corner? Could we see some side-by-side action? A Ferrari weaving in the background. I believe that to be Blue Dog. But a clean start so far. Yeah, that it is, mate. And all 20 of these drivers, we're seeing Apache Franks and Blue Dog. Blue Dog with a very, very nice move there. These conditions really suiting his driving style. As now he's roll over the back of his teammate. Back up the front, it's close, mate.
And whoa, through what is that? Out of Chapel there, the two Ferraris were side by side as they're both hassling the back of Nick Magoo. Dino there, well and truly off the track. He'll get a warning for that, you would have thought. But a lot of good driving happening. Suicide 5 is in all sorts of trouble with Absolute behind him.
All side by side for the lead! And cracking up the inside of Abby takes it.
And now we're seeing yellow in Sector 3. Crazy Kiwi's off and he's in the pits, mate.
Looks like Tabbed is lagging a little bit. I'm not sure if that's on your end as well, mate. Hopefully
yes, it
all
is,
good
yeah.
out between the two drivers. But maybe that played into it. But he is definitely lagging. We saw this last week from him as well.
Yeah, he's definitely lagging for me, mate. As a little bit further back, we're seeing quite a few moves being done. As we're seeing there 4 abreast here. As a very nice move there from Fury Strat down the inside of Brad Tay for P17. And he'll try and get back up on the rear wing of the Stig very quickly.
Yeah, he had that qualifying ban, and this bit of weather could play into it. Darkness up the inside of Cop's corner. Turn 9, and I think Johnny and Force
Johnny's going to have a look at it as well.
I could hear that engine. I could hear that engine alongside that rearing Honda. Just that meaty sound, and he just couldn't quite get it done at Maggots. But in these conditions, that is a very risky manoeuvre to be pulling on lap 2.
That's a very, very big understatement there from yourself. Absolute all over the back of the rear wing of Suicide 5. And these boys out front, they really haven't got away. But I would imagine, as I've just seen Absolute go very wide again, I'd imagine there's a lot of warnings that have already happened for quite a lot of these drivers for track limits.
Yeah, definitely. Kraken starting to pull away just a little bit, mate. Out to 1.1 seconds. Obviously no DRS in these conditions, but you're starting to be losing that slipstream effect, and that could leave him vulnerable behind. But Absolute is right on the back of Suicide 5. His teammate Milligains is right on the back of Nat Hammer, who's pretty much right on the back of M-Stone. The train is well and truly intact on lap 3.
Yeah, absolutely. They're all sort of pushing each other and willing each other along at this point, as we're only 3 laps deep into this one. The rain has not let up just yet. We are hearing that there's about 15 minutes worth of this rain, which would take us to about lap 15. So could there be 10 laps of dry running at the end? We will see, but it is very, very close here between at least 3rd, 4th and 5th here as I'm on board at the moment.
Yeah, definitely, mate. The gaps are close. Johnny and Force pushing Donny through Cops here, mate. He's just a 10th back, but he's going to have to try and hold it through Maggots and Beckett's and get a good exit. But Kraken's already picked up a penalty on lap 3, mate, from the lead of the race. Yeah, and I would assume that it is a track limits penalty, as it is a 3-second penalty. So I did mention that there was a lot of drivers running very, very wide throughout some corners, and just proved there by him getting that penalty as Milligains runs very wide there again.
So I would assume that Milliganes is very close to a penalty also.
Yeah, it is a little bit harder in these conditions to pick up as many warnings, but if you keep going off, you're going to keep getting warnings eventually. But Tabs is trying to get back inside that slipstream of Kraken in front, but that lag is not exactly healthy, as Absolute makes the move on Suicide 5, and there's contact between the two.
Yeah, that there is, and they've got a really big train on the back of them now. Both McLaren, well, you can pretty much call it the rest of the field. He's in a DRS train there, as Nick Magoo has had an off, and he's in the gravel. Not sure if he's had a chat with someone or something a little bit more sinister, but yeah,
he's a Red Bull as well. Johnny M4, mate, he's also around.
Yeah, so
he's a little bit further down the road. They won't near each other on the track, so separate incidents for the two. And look at the Alpines, mate, they're right tucked up behind each other.
Yeah, that they are, and it is not a terrible way to get around the track if you're giving each other that little bit of a tow, but it looks like this is going to be wheel-to-wheel racing, as Darkness Abyss just thinks the better of trying to slip one up the inside of his teammate, but he's got immense pace at the moment, has Darkness Abyss, and he'll be definitely looking to team orders. And he has got a very nice run on his teammate here in Suicide 5. But Suicide 5 with that inside line, he's defending for all he's worth, mate. But as I mentioned in the qualifying sessions, that outside line around that turn is not a terrible line to take in the race, because it gives you an immense traction launch off that corner.
Yeah, it seems to be the line to be on if you're side by side. You can just carry a bit more speed at the apex and you can slip around the outside. So we saw that many times last night, and we've seen it already here on lap 4.
Yeah, and can confirm, mate, it has stopped raining. So, it's Nat Hammer! Nat Hammer got incredibly squirmy, and Milliganes tried to send it up the inside. Not sure if Milliganes has ended up with a little bit of wing damage there. As we're seeing a yellow flag.
I think that's just Tab's car just jumping around, mate.
Yeah, so, fair enough.
Hopefully...
so, the rain has stopped, mate. How long? When will these guys try for the crossover? I think it's still too wet, mate.
It's too lap. I think it's too wet now, but I think at the end of next lap, end of lap 6, it should be dry enough. But we could see someone like Fury Strut, who's not really got anything to lose, go for it. And yeah, I think it's probably a little bit too early to go to softs to the end. So Meds will be the tyre choice. But that also means that...
contact between Nat Hammer and Milliganes. As Nat Hammer really struggling for pace, and Milliganes with huge pace at the moment. They just had a little bit of well, let's call it a little conversation. As Nat Hammer tries for the cutback, and nothing doing there. That is move done by Milliganes. DRS has been enabled. So that's generally the cut-off time.
Who's going to call it? I think Fury might. Nope.
Surely someone.
It's going to be a Mercedes and a Red Bull at the back, and that is Brad Tay and Johnny M4. As I was saying, you've got to keep that in mind. Yes, you've got to keep in mind, if you go to the mediums, they're not quite like the softs in these conditions. They're quite a bit slower, a couple of seconds. They just don't have that initial bite that the softs do.
Yeah, but once they're warmed up, they're a very, very nice tyre to be on indeed, as we've seen a couple of boys towards the back jump onto the medium compound tyre, and I would expect everybody to be in at the end of this lap.
Yeah, everyone, at least one from each team, and the double stacks could hurt drivers like Absolute, like Nat Hammer. There's probably just enough of a gap for Nat Hammer, but he's going to have about a 4-second stop regardless. And that could lose a couple of positions for the man. And drivers like the Alpines and the Ferrari, they're right up behind each other.
Yeah, absolutely. And especially the Alpines and the Ferrari.
Look at this at the back. It's almost 3 wide. Coming down the straight. And they file back in for Cop's Corner. But they're all pushing to get past Flourish here, who, must be said, isn't enjoying the track tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. He's struggled from the outset. But having said that, he hasn't got woeful pace at the moment, as the race leader is into the pits, followed by Tabbed. very closely. So, and Milligains and M Stone and that Hammer, they're all in, mate. So, the Alpha Tauris are double stacking. Not sure how that's going to work down at Alpha Tauri.
They are Apache Frank staying out on the insters, mate. He's praying for something. He's doing a rain dance. He's doing a safety car dance. So is Rui, but everyone else is double stacking the pit lane. And the further down the pit lane you are, the bigger advantage you're going to get out of this. Drivers, people like the Red Bulls and the McLarens, they might get held up here a little bit.
Milligains being well and truly held by his team. Disaster there, as it's probably cost him a good couple of seconds, and for good measure, he has to wait for cars to go past.
Yep, so, Darkness Abyss got absolutely mauled out of that, and Suicide 5's going to lose out even more, mate. And we're seeing a lot of soft tyres here, mate.
Yeah.
And, well, not a lot, but we're seeing quite a few soft tyres. I reckon they will make it, but they won't make it comfortably like the mediums will. And at the front, Kraken on the mediums, tabbed on the softs.
And we've seen Blue Dog go to the hard compound tyre. So we did mention that the hard is a tyre to stay away from, especially in these conditions where they will not get any warmth in them at all. As Apache Franks and Rui. Apache Franks and Rui. Oh no! Wow, they've done a Hamilton and Verstappen, but they've managed to keep it all on the black stuff. So excellent move there from Rui, and these two really have to get a move on because they've lost out in just that sector alone by 2.5 seconds to Kraken behind. The slick tyre, well and truly the tyre to be on now.
That's it, mate. They've played the gamble. It hasn't quite worked out for them. But different tyre strategies. It's gonna be interesting here, mate. But that hard tyre is shocking around here.
Rui gets a speeding in the pit lane penalty for his troubles as well.
Suicide 5, mate. He's gone from 7th position to 18th out of all of that.
Yeah.
He got absolutely held in the pit lane because Darkness was waiting to get released for about 8 seconds in the Alpine pit box. Because in front, there was someone parked double stacked waiting for the next driver. So it was just queues up. And that's why being in the Hassel of the Williams is such a big advantage.
Yeah, and someone that benefited a lot from whatever happened there was Dino 420 fam. He was running down in P11 and P12 fighting with his teammate Blue Dog before the round of pit stops, and he currently finds himself...
Blue Dog and Rui! Bit of contact there. Rui coming out of the pit lane, and they actually didn't do too bad at that. Rui's sort of maintained position, so maybe just that extra sort of lap wasn't too bad in terms of the congestion in the pit lane, but Tab is making inroads at the front.
Yeah, he certainly is, and not sure it will wow, as his game is impossible to ride on board with because he's lagging so much. It just looks like he's about to go off the track, so I'm going to jump on board with somebody else. But yes, he is making inroads on that soft compound tyre at the moment, on Kraken ahead.
Fury up into 10th, mate, after starting 18th, so he's making his way through the field. He's on that medium compound, which will come to him. Everyone on the softs is ahead, so we'll see how all of this plays out a little bit later on.
Well, in theory, the soft tyre runners have to pit again. I doubt it's going to be a massive push, but I think they'll be very, very slow at the end.
They'll make it with about 70%, I suspect, so... they will have the worst tyres at the end, that's for sure.
So correct me if I'm wrong, mate, but anything 65 and above is puncture possible?
75. But anything above 60 is when you really start going off. The tyres just go bad after that point, so that's when you're really going to lose bulk time.
So, Blue Dog, the only man on the hard compound tyre, although Johnny M4 is on the hard compound tyre now as well. We have mentioned that they're not a great race tyre at all to be on, unfortunately for those two men, but the mediums will comfortably make it to the end now. The soft runners, you reckon they'll make it, mate? I can't see it happening.
I don't see them pitting again since it's such a long pit lane, so they're taking the gamble. Maybe they're gambling a safety car. We've still got all 20 drivers in the session, and at the front, it is close.
Oh, he launched it up the inside, tabbed F1.
That's
He's
not
had
what you want to see for Kraken when he's lagging all around like that. Kraken's going to be like, Tab, don't you dare, mate.
Well, I'm not sure if you've got the same glitch, mate, but it's telling me that Tabbed is last.
Yeah,
in the
he
timing.
keeps fluctuating. He keeps going second, and then if you actually look at the time, he's minus 1 minute on 19. So the timing's okay. It's just the sort of telemetry glitch that we see all the time. But Fury Strut, he's gotten past Donny, and he's setting off the darkness now. He's got that medium compound. We'll go over the penalties as they are at the moment. 3 seconds for Kraken Darkness and Johnny, and 5 seconds for Crazy Kiwi and for Rui. Both of them were...
Oh, I'm sorry to cut you off there, mate, but a massive lunge up the inside by Tabbed, and I think there was a little bit of contact there between Kraken and Tabbed, but Tabbed has taken the lead of this race. It definitely appeared to be contact between the two of them.
So he's lagged his way past, he's barged his way past Moose. And hello to you, Skate. Hello to everyone watching. It's now Tabbed leading the race from Kraken. Differing tyre strategies from the two. And we apologise for everyone's ears.
Oh, sorry, mate.
No, that's alright. We all get a little bit excited sometimes, Moose.
I got a lot excited.
Did you let him pass? I think you let him back past.
Yeah, yes. And he's lost out quite a lot, so is he in AI?
Yeah, he's just left the session, mate, so maybe he's trying an internet restart, or who knows, mate. But, so now Kraken from Tabbed, but Milligames will chase him down, and it's, he maybe left the session, maybe he lagged out, one of the two. Dino on those softs, he's rapid right now as we flick to him, sets the fastest lap of the race, and he's chasing that hammer down. Dino started 14th, mate, so he's up 9 positions at this point.
Yeah, that he is, and he's absolutely flying out there, as he said. But big moment in this race for Kraken. While Tabbed is lagged out for whatever reason, he has to get himself as far up the road as possible because he is carrying that 3-second time penalty. Is Dino having a look at the back of the Haas of Nathammer, and this is very, very good wheel-to-wheel racing between these two gentlemen.
Yeah, Nathammer just getting good exits out of all of these important corners, which is keeping him in front for the time being.
Yeah, but on that soft compound tyre, how long is it really going to take? Dino much quicker on those soft compound tyres, as we have seen from everyone on the soft compound tyre. They're just flying at the moment. Is the pace advantage between the two tyres? And look at this, Dino is going to get this move done with an absolute golfing yard to spare, as he has well and truly got that move done on Dino, and he'll look to start catching M Stone ahead of him.
Yeah, he will. Millie Gaines is making very big inroads already in that sole lap that Tabbed's been out. He's lost about 3 or 4 seconds, so Millie Gaines, this is good for him in his championship, but Tabbed, heartbreak for the lad.
Yeah, lagging out for whatever reason. I'm going to assume that he's trying to get back in as Darkness Abyss picks up a penalty. But yeah, Milligaines is he's probably going to get the job done by the end of this straight. You would have thought.
Side by side to turn one, Apache and Flourish, and I think we heard that Flourish has a bit of side pod damage, mate. So he's going to be feeling the effects of that for a long, long time to go, mate, and that's not going to help him at all.
No, not at all. But more importantly now, Milligaines has got past Tabbed, and he needs to make some serious inroads into Kraken now. Kraken carrying that penalty is really going to will Milligaines on here, and he's trying to lengthen that lead that he has in the championship. Yeah,
it's already a big lead as it is, so he's going strong once again after a complicated qualifying down there in P9. But Dino, he managed to get past Nathammer on the last lap, but Nathammer's stuck with him in the DRS now, and those tyres are going to come to him later in the race.
Yeah, absolutely. I would expect the soft compound runners to just drop off about lap 22. They will still be getting some decent running, but the mediums will definitely be the better tyre to be on towards the end.
Yeah, we're right on board the rear wing of Dino 420 fam down the Hamilton straight. in towards Abbey Corner, and Nahama just trying to stick with him. As Dino has a bit of a snap there, mate, and that's going to bring Nahama right back into the DRS at that detection point just before Village.
Yeah, it certainly did, but up ahead of them is M-Stone and Tabbed, I would assume. No, M-Stone
Tab's been passed by M-Stone as well, mate. I know it says he's in 20th, but he is currently in P4 on the circuit, but he hasn't gotten back in yet, so he's just going to keep falling like we saw last night for Hoffa.
Yeah, and this is going to be very easy pickings for Dino 420 fam and Nat Hammer. But they've just caught Tabbed at a really weird spot on the track, and actually Dino does very well, and so too does Nat Hammer. But whoever's behind them, Absolute, is just going to catch this AI car through Maggots and Beckett's and through Chapel. So just hampering him a little bit maybe. But now that they're down the hangar straight, it'll be very easy to get past that car indeed.
Yeah, well, the thing is, the timing boards are showing it in 20th, mate, so it'll actually be showing the blue flag, so it should actually not really play a part in anyone's. But yeah, I'll just get you an invite, Tabs. I'll get you another invite, son. But Moose, take us through what's going on audibly.
Yeah, absolutely. I am on board with Nat Hammer, who's well and truly within the DRS zone of, as we're seeing the yellow flag now, Rui. Rui's in the gravel, mate. Just trying to work out where he is. He's just near the pit lane there. So he's just had a little bit of an off as he gets passed by everyone up to and including Suicide 5. So Rui having a big off there and losing out. I think he's lost close to 6 or 7 positions there. But I'll jump back up with Nat Hammer and Dino 420 fam, and those medium compound tyres now, they seem to have that little bit more warmth in them now. They're just coming into their peak period in the use of that tyre, and Nat Hammer really hanging on to the back of Dino 420 fam now. So not sure where they're sitting at with ERS. They are both equal on ERS, if you do not mind. So this is for all the marbles here, mate.
Yes, it is, mate. Thank you to everyone who's tuning in. Thank you to all the new followers. We do appreciate it. This is OSRL Tier 2. We're halfway through already, Moosey. And it just flies when there's no safety cars. A reminder, driver of the day, get your votes in. The link will be in the chat shortly. Have your say. And we've got to ask Deezy and Moosey. Where does Silverstone rank on your favourite tracks? Well, Moosey, I know you said it wasn't quite your favourite.
No, it's in my bottom 3, to be fair.
Well, there you go. But you've got such good pace around here, mate.
I know, it's ridiculous. I for the life of me, I can't nail Maggots and Beckett's. So that's I always seem to lose about half a second through there, no matter what I'm racing. So that's the reason I don't really like it. The rest of the lap I'm fine with. But yeah, just I lose too much time through there, and I just can't put it together. So
yeah, that's it.
It's definitely it's definitely no Japan for me though. I hate Japan.
It's well, they've both got those S sections, mate, that are tricky to nail. But Silverstone's probably middle of the road for me. I like it. I don't dislike it. I don't love it. Anyone who knows me well knows I love a street circuit. So Monaco is my favourite. I love Singapore.
Wow.
I love Hungary. That's like a street circuit without walls. Baku. So those sort of racetracks are my favourites. Low speed technical circuits are my favourites. I like Sochi as well.
Nat Hammer here, going to have a massive run here on Dino 420 fam. Down the hangar straight they come. Only 3/10 separating the two now. DRS for Nat Hammer has a little look at the inside. Thinks the better of it as they come around that final chicane now. As they're coming into the final couple of corners now. Apologies. And he just looks like he's got so much more pace at the moment, Nat Hammer, as he has a little mistake and just falls off the back of Dino. But Dino's really starting to struggle, and I'm not sure if it's the soft compound tyre or not, as we're seeing a Crazy Kiwi's out.
He is out. Suicide 5.
VSC.
He was up the inside of a Ferrari, and it's a VSC. And chaos here at the back. They're all trying to get in line.
And he's well off the racing line, so it will not be a full safety car.
Yeah, that's it, mate. So only a virtual safety car at this point. He was in basically, I know, a section of the track where no one else was. And we're seeing yellow flags ignoring for Suicide 5 there. Not really much he could do about it. Someone overtook him and gave the position back, and he's picked up a penalty for it. So as long as there's no more pit stops for him, he'll have that one removed. But he'll probably be praying for no safety car at this point. But he also needs one to get back into the race. So he's in a awkward position.
Yeah, Johnny M4 coming into the pits. So too Flourish Expire for brand new soft compound tyres. So these boys will be very, very rapid indeed with 11 laps to go.
Yeah, they're just so far back though, mate. Just look at the track map. Kraken's in the final, chicane now, and Johnny's going to be lapped, most likely.
He might just stay ahead with those tyres.
For Blue Dog.
Oh, that's heartbreak. Milligains is in, mate. From P2, he's in, and so's Dino.
Absolute as well. Both of the AlphaTauris boxing. What are they thinking, mate?
Oh, so we did mention that the soft compound tyres looked like they were going off, and
I thought they would make it, but obviously not.
Mate, old Chief Engineer Moose has pulled the absolute wool over your eyes, and it's going to be a lot nicer for the AlphaTauri than it was the first time around, as Absolute does not get held up by his team. But mate, they're going to be absolutely rapid at the end, these boys.
Mate, that promotes Fury up into 4th, mate. Donny up into 5th.
Fury with that qualifying ban.
Yes, he's come from the back of the grid to 4th at the moment. And he's got an 8-second gap to chase down Nuthammer in front, so he's got his work cut out. And Tabbed F1, he's in there as well, mate. He's in 19th on the boards, but he's in between Fury and Nuthammer on track, so I don't know. I think he's been put a lap down on where he was, so no idea.
Yeah, weird glitch.
But Kraken's flying out in front. But look at the battle here for a 10th position, mate. It's spicing up.
Yeah, very much so, and it's gonna have Dino on the back of it fairly rapidly on those new soft compound tyres. But yeah, they're fighting these three. Let's call it 4 now that Dino's joining the party. And they're really battling away with each other now as they come through Maggots, into Beckett's, and into Chapel. And who's going to have the best run here? Down the hanger straight. All of them have got DRS except for Nick Magoo there at the front. And nothing doing as Suicide 5 had a little look. But yeah, nothing doing at the moment. And these boys are all going to be rapid on the soft compound tyre. As Milligains has picked up a penalty at some point as well, mate. That's going to play a big part.
Yeah, that's not going to help his charge for the few. Rui runs wide of the final corner. Dino could have a sniff here. He's going to have to tuck in for Avian Farm, but he might dive it down the inside of Village here.
Oh!
He's going to have to go around the outside of the man, around the outside of the Brit at Village, and he has the inside for the loop.
So much more confidence.
That was a brilliant move there.
And he's going to have excellent traction here on Suicide 5 as well. And he might just run out of road here, but he's so rapid at the moment, he's Dino. And so too Milligains a little bit further ahead. Although Milligains really isn't putting a dent into the stick at the moment. Oh, Suicide gets a little bit twitchy out of the second part of that chicane there. And Dino goes past him and says, thank you very much. So Dino 420 fam, in the space of a couple of corners, has made up 2 positions.
Yes, mate. That move was probably inevitable. Suicide's mistake, just making it accelerating.
Oh, he's just got so much more pace.
And then he's going to have Nick Magoo here. Watch him, mate. Nick Magoo's going to try and defend, but he's going to run out of road. Dino's going to have to go to the inside to get it done. Nick Magoo just holds on this occasion, but maybe down into the Vale chicane. Dino might have a dive.
Dino has so much
Dino
pace.
He's got the pace. He's just got to find a way past these guys.
Yeah, that he does, and he's really hassling the back of Nick Magoo at the moment. There was nearly a coming together between the two lads. But yeah, as you said, mate, he's just... Oh, jeez. As now he dives down the inside, but nearly loses his front wing in the process. And he's up ahead of Nick Magoo now with Apache Franks well within sight.
That's it. Brad Tate's pushing Donny along. Down in, well, not down in, they're up in 5th position, these two. So we'll bring up the position changes. They're both up a couple of spots. The Stig, he's up 10, mate, from 17th. And he's just following these guys around. But,
Johnny M4's gone off where he went off in quali, mate. So just before the hanger straight, he's gone off again.
Yeah, that's mate. He's just getting it going once again.
He's lost the left-hand side of his front wing.
So he was already a lap down, and he's going to just... well, I'd be surprised if he doesn't pit it quit it at this time. But Rui's around at Stowe. Oh, sorry, at the Cops. He's lost at the Cops corner. And any chance of a good points finish is gone now. He's still in the points with 15. Oh, sorry, points down to 15th in OSRL, but currently it's only going to be the 2 points for the man.
This battle here for 5th, 6th, and 7th between Donny, Brad, and the Stig is very, very tight indeed. All three of these gentlemen on roughly the same age of tyre. Only a lap between them, but yeah, there's about 8 tenths between the three of them at the moment, as Brad Tate and Stig will get DRS down this straight, and they'll look to have this move on Donny.
Can Brad Tate get it? He's just not had quite enough road to do it on the last couple of laps, and once again, Donny's straight line speed is just keeping him in front at the moment.
And I'll tell you who this is playing into the hands of very nicely, and that's Kraken out in front. Milligan's not really putting a dent in catching anything, and M-Stone now 12.
He's catching this battle for 5th, mate. He's reeling these guys in a half a second or so.
It's not enough. Just quietly, it's not enough to get that job done.
Well, look at the gap in front of Donny. It's 8 seconds, so he might get 5th, but that's probably all he's got at the moment.
Yeah, that's exactly right, mate. As Yellow's in Sector 2 once again.
There's
been a coming together.
Safety car! Safety car! Brad Tate just made the move on Donny, mate. And will they come into the pit lane?
That is a huge crash between those two gents.
Oh, Donny comes in, the Stig comes in, Milligan stays out. He's on that fresh, soft compound tyre. This is exactly what Kraken did not want with that penalty.
Absolutely.
He had so much of a gap, but now it's going to be wiped away, and he's picked up another one under the safety car, mate. So he's going to have 6 seconds.
Yeah, and he's in a really awkward spot on track where he can't come into the pits. So this is going to be
he will be able to get in, mate, because the safety car didn't pick him up, so they're all going to be under Delta until the leader picks him up, and Kraken will be able to box. But regardless, his 12-second advantage just got absolutely wiped away in a heartbeat.
Yeah, that it did, and it was a big crash at the international pit entry between those two gents, being Darkness Abyss and Rui, and it didn't look good. The little view I had of it, so those two coming together in a big way. As Kraken is into the pits, and he might get out in the lead of this race still, mate.
Kraken's just got 5 for speeding in the pit lane as well, mate.
Oh, wow.
His race win is over. It's gone. He cannot make 11 seconds in what will be 3 or 4 laps. So, he's thrown it away, Kraken here. He's gone from 3 seconds to 11 seconds in less than a lap. And he will be well and truly frustrated at this. And this is going to play into
Fury
the hands
Strat has stayed out.
He has. Fury's making the call. You've got to remember Tabbed is in there as well. He stayed out, mate. We think he's in the lead of the race. The timing boards won't reflect that, but he's on very old softs, mate. He's on 13 lap old softs at this point.
Yeah, exactly right. And
it's such a shame, though, that it's
Kraken has got out ahead of Fury Strat. So
Tabbed might be able to get it past the safety car here to unlap himself if he is a lap down on his screen, because Kraken is behind. So we'll see if he gets past the safety car. Yes, he does. So he's made that decision. He's going to be back on the lead lap, but this means it's probably going to be a 2 or 3 lap sprint, as the safety car's going to take a couple of laps, Moose.
Yeah, exactly right. And this deep into the race, we we don't expect these safety cars to last too long this late into a Grand Prix. Having said that, the safety car in the game update, it is now the green, the British green, if you will, safety car that we have instead of the red that we're used to, mate.
Yeah, and it's a good looking thing, isn't it? I love that. I love the finish and the green on it. It's just like obviously the actual F1 Aston Martin car. But this strategy, mate, Fury versus, well, it's probably M Stone. If we have a look at the penalties,
Yeah.
Milligains does have the 3 seconds, so he's been pretty quick tonight, but so is M Stone. So M Stone's probably in the box seat if he can follow Milligains through.
Well,
Kraken, his challenge for the win is over. We'll just see how many he loses due to that penalty, and let's see if Fury can hold on up this safety car restart. We'll wait and see. And still of note, Blue Dog still has that drive-through to serve, mate. So even if he gets to the back of the field, he's going to have to serve a drive-through before the end.
yeah, exactly right. And it's worth pointing out that if Fury is a bit of a boat here for the guys behind him, Kraken could really get away fairly quickly. Yes, he does have 11 seconds worth of penalties. But if Fury can play a little bit of havoc on those old meds, he could potentially just see himself get a little bit further up the road than a couple of his rivals. So all to play for here for Kraken.
Yeah, you're not wrong, mate, but also we've seen the likes of Dino 420 found the ease of the moves he's had when he had that fresh soft compound tyre versus what was even newer mediums than what Fury has on his car at the moment. So,
but let's comment on it though. Milligains is going to be yes, he's going to be quick, but he's going to be a little bit of a boat to the guys behind him, being M Stone and Nat Hammer as well. Those soft compound tyres we saw in that first run, it only managed 8 laps, and they were really going off. So,
well, there you go. It's
could they drop off?
This is so those who saved an extra set of softs, mate. They're in prime advantage right now. Milligains, he made that early stop and it might have hurt him a little bit. So M Stone is looking well and truly in the box seat here to take his first overs for a win. But I don't want to jinx it, mate, so I'm just going to throw a little cursor there, a little asterisk. M Stone, I'm going to reverse psychology here. M Stone's not going to win this race. Alright, M Stone got you, buddy. Who knows, mate? Maybe they'll take each other out. My boy Suicide 5 will come from 14th and win the race. I don't know!
Well, mate, it is very well noted that safety cars bring safety cars, but we will not have any more safety cars in this race as Tabbed hasn't quite made the inroads that he probably should have, and
the safety
I think we'll go around here, again.
Mate. I don't think we will, mate. We're about to find out. I think they're gonna Michael Massey is gonna make the call to get things back underway. So if he gets it underway this lap, it's gonna be a 3-lap sprint. If we continue on, we're gonna get a 2-lap sprint, and Kraken's gonna be just crying even more if it stays out, and I think it will, mate.
It will, 100% it will. Way too late for Burt Meyerlander to turn those lights off now, so we will spend at least another lap, and I think it would only be another lap behind Burt Meyerlander, the safety car driver who in fact did win the driver of the day in real life Spa this year. The only man to complete multiple laps at that circuit this season.
Yeah, mate. I'm just going to flick over to tabs, mate, so we get a bit of actual racing action. So look, if he's gonna push as hard as he can to catch these guys, and he's gonna sort of be praying that he can do it, or that there's gonna be a slow restart from Kraken at the front to let him get right onto the back of them. But
surely
regardless,
he's close enough.
he was up in the points, mate, before this connection issue. So it's heartbreaking for him, but at least he's gonna get some sort of chance of getting into the points now with being on the back of the field. So he's currently 1 position away from a point. Blue Dog down there in 15th will receive 1 point at the moment. And fastest lap, we might see it smashed here in the last couple of laps, but it is tabbed F1 at the moment.
Yeah, I think it will fall in the last closing stages of this race. The fastest lap currently being a 1:29 flat, so I think we'll see someone go quite a bit faster than that when this safety car does come in, and Tabbed has caught the back of the safety car queue now, so I think we'll be getting going very, very, very shortly for a short dash to the line.
That's it. Another reminder to get those driver of the day votes in. You might want to hold and just wait until the checkered flag drops, because anything could happen here in these last 2 laps. But we've had a couple of big movers. We might see even more big moves here with Fury on very, very old medium compounds. Tabs has caught the field, so we will get back underway for a 2-lap sprint here around the 5.89 kilometre circuit. So just about 12 kilometres of racing to go, Moose.
Yeah, absolutely. We're hearing from race control that the safety car is definitely in this lap. A lot of movement from Kraken at the front, trying to get as much heat into those tyres as possible. And when will he choose to go, mate, is the big question. And he hasn't gone yet.
It's going to be absolutely flat out, mate. The battery will not be limiting. There's going to be no DRS, and Kraken is gone, mate. He's gone just before Vale. And
no, he hasn't. He hasn't. No, he hasn't gone.
He's gone too early and been held up by the safety car,
and he's gone
mate.
now.
So, there he goes now. So we're back underway, and I think Johnny M4 absolutely missed it, and that's held up absolute, and the whole train behind. But Fury Strat already coming under attack from Milligains, and down into the village corner.
It hangs onto it.
Milligains looking. He's looking, but Milligains
Yellow
might try and
flag.
dance
Johnny
around the
M4 is
outside.
off.
Milligains goes dancing around the outside of Fury, gets it done early. M-Stone's going to get through now. He needs to win. If he wants to win, he needs to pass him now, but Fury's not going to make it easy for him. Holding on, but he's going to have so much more grip, Moose.
I'll tell you what, mate, Fury Strat is still winning this race. On penalties, he is still well and truly winning this race.
Oh, look at M-Stone!
M-Stone! M-Stone, and they have a little bit of a kiss of tyres, but M-Stone has danced around the inside of that chicane there, and M-Stone now technically winning this race.
Yes, he is. We're already halfway under the way with this sprint almost, Moose, and M-Stone's flying. Nut Hammer's trying to follow him through. Milligan make the crash, going to get as far ahead as possible to finish as high up as possible. But look at this, mate. There's moves everywhere.
Yeah, that there is. And M-Stone really struggling on those old medium compound tyres as he outbrakes himself and goes very deep. Nat Hammer will get a
move
massive cutback. And, they're... Has he taken the back of Dino out? No, he hasn't.
No. Wow, that was big.
Huge move. But we did say
he's going to be spewing.
We did say that what would happen if Fury became a bit of a boat, and we've seen exactly what happened. As we've seen, Nat Hammer is absolutely gone from triumph to tragedy in this race. And Dino looking to dance around the outside. But the defensive job there from Fury Strat, and Fury Strat still not letting it lie. Eventually cannot do any more to fight that, and Absolute coming through as well, as these two are going to go wheel to wheel, where Hamilton and Verstappen decided they were going to fight earlier this year. But mate, it is going to look like, as they're coming down the hangar straight now, it is looking like M-Stone will take his first OSRL victory.
He's flying down in front. It's not going to be him. It's not going to be Milligan. It's going to be M-Stone if he can hold it together for a couple more corners. Could Dino sneak up here? He might finish second, you know. He's just off the back of the 3-second window. He's going to push hard. Kraken comes across the line, takes it on track, but doesn't take it on pens. Milligan's M-Stone wins. It's then Milligan, and then Dino gets on the podium in third. Absolute Donny makes it up into fifth position. Then Fury Strat, the Stig. Kraken drops to 8th position out of that. Mr. Flourish expired down there in 9th, and Apache Franks rounds out the 10.
Mate,
and,
we've mentioned 1,000,001 times how penalties are really deciding a lot in this Tier 2 championship, and Kraken went from 1st to 8th with his 11 seconds worth of penalties there.
He's going to be kicking himself, mate. I'll tell you that right now. He's going to be very upset at that.
Oh,
But M Stone, mate, round of applause where it's due.
yeah,
I
absolutely.
told you he was going to win this one, and then
Congratulations.
I just tried to play it off cool, but M Stone, and that is the importance of no penalties. A late race safety car plays right into your hands.
Yeah, that it does, and he'll absolutely be spewing, that's for sure. But a very, very well done to M Stone. First OSRL victory, and he's really done it in a league of his own after those penalties by the tune of 1.6 seconds. Fastest lap ended up going to Kraken with a 28.1 there, so he'll get an extra point for that to damage limitation if that's what we're going to call it. Fury Strat doing very, very well on those old tyres at the end. He still hung on for P6 after starting P18 after that quali ban. So a lot of good movers. Dino 420 fam, another good mover. Up on the podium once again for him from P13 on the grid. So a little bit further back, we'll see who were some of the big losers. Tabbed with that connection issue that we saw. He was a big loser, and we're not sure what happened for him to not be on the lead lap. And then we had the three that didn't finish towards the end, being Darkness Abyss, Rui, and Crazy Kiwi. But mate, at the end there was a big coming together between the Haas and Fury Strat.
Yeah, the points are just gone from the Haas camp there. They went from looking like absolute rock stars to absolute a word I'm not going to say, but if you watch Drive to Survive, you'll be well and truly familiar with that term from the man Gunther Steiner. But we've already been joined by all three on the podium, so hello to you, gentlemen. And Moose, you can kick it off by talking to third place man Dino 420 fam.
Yeah, absolutely. Dino, mate, not the greatest qualifying in the world from yourself there tonight, but you certainly made up for it in the race with a very solid performance, and penalties playing their part to get you on the podium once again.
Yeah, no, qualifying definitely didn't go my way again this week, which was unfortunate, but yeah, pulled it back through with a good recovery drive. A few overtakes in there.
Yeah, a couple of really nice ones, and were you a little bit cautious or a little bit worried there at the end that you might have got a bit of contact with yourself, and I think it was Fury Strat or someone else, maybe one of the Haas that went around there. Was there any sort of danger there, or were you well and truly past that?
No, I copped a knock on the side, but I don't think there was any damage. If there was, I couldn't see it on the MFD or whatever.
Fair enough, mate. Well, yeah, like I said, penalties have played their part, and you're up on the podium once again for the Ferrari team. Well done to yourself.
Thank you very much. That's what I needed to crawl back some points from the 2 DNFs for the last couple of weeks.
Lovely, lovely, lovely. Thank you, Dino. And then we're going to move to championship leader, extending his gap once again. Milligain's P2. It looked like it was all going to be over after going to the softs when it went dry, but that late race safety car played right into your hands.
Oh, I couldn't believe it, to be honest. I remember when that DRS came on, I went, okay, let's make sure we put on those mediums. And of course, the game decides it's the opposite of what you want. And I was a bit pissed off with that, a bit vocal about it. But I got really lucky with that safety car and just felt pretty rapid on those softs, even after a bit of wear on them. So I got pretty lucky there. Even with the crash, I think that helped me extend that 3-second gap and keep this podium.
Yeah, that's right. I think Nat Hammer may have gotten you there, and Dino might have lost a little bit of time out of that.
Definitely.
But regardless, you had the pace, and keeping it clean, penalty-wise, got you. It got you onto the podium. It could have been the win, but
could have been the win. Oh,
don't say that. You've already had your limelight. It's M Stone's night. But,
it is Stoney's night.
P2.
He's flawless driver. Got to give it to him. He's beautiful, beautiful drive from him.
Yeah, it sounds like you're getting ready for a bit of action later on with Stoney there, mate. But thank you, mate, and we'll see you a little bit later on or a little bit later on next week out in Hungary, mate.
Cheers, boys.
M Stone, mate.
Stone.
First win in OSRL. Congratulations. Yeah, so just just talk us through it. Obviously, you're on the podium. Was it last week for the first time? No. Oh no, that's right. That's right. But you were on the podium last time out when you were on the track last, and now you're on the you're on the top step. Yeah, well, the time to do it is when there's a late race safety car, and it all worked out nicely for you tonight. So, congratulations on the win, mate. Well deserved, and hopefully this is just the start of some good form coming into the second half of the season now. Yeah, that's it, mate. Thanks,
good
Stoney.
drive.
And Moosey, driver of the day, Mr. Fury Strut, he's here with us. Have a chat with him.
Well, mate, Fury Straight, you were my driver of the day, and the viewers at home have tended to agree with me. Getting those medium compound tyres very old at the end there. You were a little bit of a boat, but you still had enough pace to bring it home for what I think was P5 or P6. You just pulled off a bit of a strategic masterclass after that qualifying ban. No, well, that's exactly right. And when you have high expectations for yourself, you get drives like you had tonight, and you've done very, very well indeed.
Yeah, definitely. That's it, mates, and we'll see you out on track next time in Hungary, or you'll be in the box tomorrow night with Nick for Tier 1. So we'll see you shortly on the Ozroll channel.
Thank you.
Thank you, mate. Well, Moose, it was clean. It was pretty clean and action-packed, and that late race safety car just spiced it right up at the end. And I don't think we could have asked for much more. We had a bit of weather. We had a bit of everything tonight.
Well, that we did, mate, and it's provided us with 26 incredible laps. It must be said.
It sure has, mate. The racing was plenty, the action was clean, but just spicy enough, and all the different strategies going on. It was a classic here in Silverstone.
It absolutely was, mate, and that late safety car for those boys that decided to box at the end there, they were so quick, but penalties, we say it each and every week, just if you keep it clean, you're going to improve at the end, and we've seen that well and truly tonight with the race winner, and with a couple of other boys getting some positions because of penalties. So the key is to keep it clean. We say it every week, but we just can't say it enough, really.
We sound like a broken record at this point, but yeah, keep it clean. You'll get good results. But that's all I've got to say, mate. Anything from yourself?
No, just thank you to all of our viewers. We got another good showing in here tonight from all of our viewers. That's about it from me. I've got nothing really much more to add. So
yeah, that's it.
Thanks to everyone for joining us, and stay safe from the Moose Arch.
Yeah,
I may
definitely,
may not be with you next week, mate. We've exceeded the due date of the baby, so watch this space.
I'll keep everyone updated regardless if you're here or not. But yeah, thank you to everyone for coming out tonight, and tune in tomorrow night for T1 around Silverstone, of course, or next week, Hungary on track action, Tuesday to Thursday night, your mid-week special, the OSRL Championship. But once again, thank you to everyone, and we will see you guys soon.
Oh, where's I?
Gotta take a leak, mate. Gotta take
All
a
right,
leak.
mate. No
Yeah,
worries.
mate.